Happy Whiskey Wednesday. How's everybody? We're gonna do some resin and making powders. Right here. We're gonna do some fun stuff. I have to get my computer going. Who's all here with me tonight? It's a beautiful night. Wilson's got some things he's got to finish up outside, so he's not joining us tonight. That's why I got to get my computer going. It's Whiskey Wednesday. So I posted, I see someone says hi. I'll say hi in a minute. So I don't remember what I was saying. Typical. Sheila. Hello, Sheila. So I'm going to do this live. Wilson's got some stuff he's got to get done. It's rained like 5,000 inches and he needed to get the lawn mowed and a bunch of other things that we finally have some nice weather. So hopefully he can get all that taken care of. So he couldn't join me, so you just got me, but that's okay. There we go. That looks better. That looks much better. Okay, so we are going to use the IOD mold. This one is Hello Pumpkin. This is retired, so if you don't have this one, I don't know if you can find it. Good luck with that. This one I still have. This one is not retired. This is Sunflower. I wish it would rain here. It's 108 degrees. It's just been doing nothing but rain. So we finally got into the 80s today, but really it hasn't even been summer. We have not even had some nice weather. We've had rain and cold and wind, and yesterday morning, like, Wilson wakes up really early and he doesn't get to wake up in the daylight for very long in the summertime, only a few weeks. But yesterday morning when I got up, I'm only a half an hour behind him, so I am up by 4:30. So yesterday morning I woke up and the sun was shining. Well, not the sun was shining, the sun was coming up. Sorry, sun was coming up. This morning I get up at 4:30 and it's dark. Like, how did that happen? These are great molds and I have them both. Excellent. Hey Patricia, welcome, welcome. And then I have this one, the L'Oreal mold, and I love this bee. I love him a lot. So in case I have any extra resin, I wanted to get one of these out so that I could pour that bee. And there's 2 of them. If you like this L'Oreal mold, I still have these in stock as well. These are not retired either. I've used this one a ton, and I really like these bees, and I like this leaf pattern here. The rest of them I don't really use a whole lot, but I use this section right here. Tell us where you are again. I'm in Wisconsin, central Wisconsin. home this year of rain. Rain, rain, rain. If you didn't have enough rain, we got more coming. I'm sure. Hopefully not. Lucky me, I have one of those too. Excellent. Sounds like you have a lot of molds. You're from Georgia, where it is 99% and no rain in our future. We got plenty. I'll send it your way. Going to Georgia. Rain is going to Georgia. Okay, first one that we're gonna do this sunflower, because this one has got a little bit different process on it, and I want to show you how I do that, because it's right here. Here's the sunflower that I made, but it's cupped. I have to paint this bottom side yet. I didn't do that. It's cupped so that because it's resin, it's not gonna break. If it were clay, you could break it, but it's not gonna break. It's tough. So you can use this as a little ring dish, or just a little centerpiece or something like that in your fall decor. So it's tipped. How does it get tipped when it comes out flat? Keep watching. Okay. Resin. So I have the resin that comes in the purple box. I get it off of Amazon. They changed the box look. I was almost thinking it wasn't the right one, but it is. Just make sure that it says cures in 10 minutes. So you want to make sure you got that resin where there's an A and a B and it cures in 10 minutes. It's normally the purple box. There is a blue box, I think. I believe it's blue, and that cures in 24 hours. That one's really good too if you can wait 24 hours. But I did like that one also, but I don't have that kind of patience. So, purple box on Amazon. I'll drop a link when I'm done here. I'll drop a link to my Amazon store so that no charge to you, but a little goes to me and helps me out. So I will drop a link for my resin on there. I never thought of that on my last two posts, but we'll take care of that this time. So the sunflower has making powder, and then we put the resin on top of the making powder, and then we go back with some more making powder. So make sure you stick around, because this isn't just a one-time deal. Like, it's not just a one-time thing. I am going to turn you over. And hello from Texas. Welcome, welcome. I have to make sure you're nice and tight on there. Yep. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have disposable cups. You do not want to use anything that you have to keep or wash out. And what I do is I have resin B on one side and resin A on the other side. And I always keep them on opposite sides. Stephanie from Texas. I always keep them on opposite sides. When I'm finished pouring, they will go back onto these opposite sides. These cups will always stay in this position so that I always know which product was in which cup. And then you want another cup to mix it in. And then I have a ton of these IOD sticks. So this is disposable also for me, but I do have some wooden sticks too, but I thought I'd use a couple more of these. So the first thing I do is pour out resin A. Let me get my spectacles so that I make sure I'm even, because it's really, really important to make sure that you're even. And my cups have little lines on them. See that? There's little lines on them, which really helps. So since I poured these sunflowers last night, I kind of know about how much I'm gonna need. I'm just a little bit above that one line. So then I take resin B, which is on this side, and I pour it in, making sure that they're even. At this point, I always got to get off my chair and look at it from the side to make sure that they're good. Okay. Stays on that side, caps stay on that side. These two products are right here. We are not ready. Good thing I didn't pour those yet. So what I want is, I want some orange. So this is Orange You Glad. Orange You Glad making powder. So I'm going to take a dry paintbrush, dip it in the Orange You Glad, and put the making powder on the mold. And I'm only going right here, and you want to make sure you get the sides as well. I'm only going right in the middle, or in the front of this mold, so I can have a little bit of shadowing. When you see how I finish this, this isn't real critical, because you're gonna see how you can fix it if you didn't get it quite right. Okay, I got all them, the center and the sides all coated. It's not going anywhere. It's gonna stay right there. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna dump this over, getting out my excess. I've been using a digital scale to measure my resin. I can't see the little marks they put on the cups. You know what? I did use the digital scale for a while, and then I just got brave and eyeballed it. I seem to do pretty well with the eyeball in it. Okay, we are on to, this is Van Gogh. This is the deeper of the yellows. There is a bright yellow and there's a deeper yellow. I really like this deeper yellow. So we're gonna go and tip the sunflower going into that orange a little bit. Remember, you have to make sure that you hit the sides. And you can double over that orange to make it blend. You're blending it just like you would if you were painting. We're blending. Blending making powders. I've had these making powders since Debbie came out with them, and I still yet have a ton of it left. You do not go through very much of this making powder unless you use it differently than I do. Hey Jan, thank you for the stars. You're so sweet. From Indiana. And Denise, I gotta sneeze. Wilson mowed lawn today, so it might be a bit of a challenge here. I didn't take my allergy pill yet. I take it when I go to bed, because even though he takes a shower, it does not work for me. I am allergic to grass, I'm allergic to cats, I'm allergic to everything under the sun. Grass is really bad for me. But it's what we need to do. And especially today, since it was so wet, that it's stuck all over the mower, it's stuck on his shoes, it's stuck in the garage. Ugh. All right, isn't this pretty so far? They're fun just playing with this and seeing if you can blend them, how you can blend them. So there's little sides on this mold. Make sure you get those sides. It'll help you in the long run. So Sheila, do you have making powders too? And Denise from Northern Michigan, it's raining again? Oh goodness. I think Michigan has gotten as much as Wisconsin has, so I'm sure it's on its way. Just keep it there. Keep it there, Denise. You can have it for a while. Send it to Georgia. So this is kind of a tedious process, but it's so fun when you unmold this thing. It is so fun to see it. So I can't wait for you to see it. Okay, all those edges are done. Now there's little petals all the way around here. So we're gonna get all those little petals with yellow. For a little bit of contrast between that orange and that yellow. So you're just using a dry paintbrush. You do not have water on here at all. You do not want water on your paintbrush. Just dry. Okay, back to my paper towel. You don't have to do this step. I didn't on one of them I did last night, but it just helps a little bit to get off some of that excess. And this making powder, it'll get everywhere, I'm telling you. It'll be everywhere. Okay, in this little cup, I made brown. How did I make brown? Let me tell you. I took orange and the darkened decrepit dust, which is brown, and mixed them together. And then I took, I think there's a little blue in here. I took some blue. So this is, got more of an orangey brown because I think I added too much orange when I made it. But we're going to put that right in the center. Okay. I got to keep my brushes straight because we're going to want to use them again. I'm not even going to dump that one. I'm going to show you that it's fine. You don't have to dump them. Okay, here's my two resins. Let me put this on here. Okay, that looks pretty sweet all by itself, right? Hello from, oh, we did that one. We need sun and warmth to make our tomatoes grow. I have a tomato plant in my garden that's like this big. Because first it got chopped off completely by the hail, which I didn't think it was going to come back, but it came back. But now because of all the rain, it is drowning that poor little guy. He is like, my hand is bigger than that tomato plant. And it's got blossoms on it. It's never going to be able to hold a tomato. I don't know. Burgundy would be pretty in there with the lighter yellow. That would be excellent. Good plan. I hope you have those colors, Sheila. I'm gonna leave that up to you. Oh, I need to go this way. I gotta have some room. Okay, here are my 2 cups. I'm nervous about them all the time, so I bet I check them 100 times before I actually pour. Because if you don't get them right, you're gonna end up with a mess. Like a sticky, gross mess in your mold. It's not fun. I've been there, done that, took care of it. Okay, you're gonna pour each of these together at the same time. Do not scrape them out. I pour them until they both start to drip. Remember, I'm putting them both on their same side again. Then I'm gonna take my stick and stir. It's cloudy at first. And then as I'm hanging on to the side, I've used micro powders in resin molds. Yes, the micro powders would work the same. Because I'm using a plastic cup, I can feel the heat. And you're gonna stir for about 2 minutes or so. A minute, I don't know. I can usually feel the heat and I know when it's getting, like it's totally mixed up. That's another thing you wanna do is wanna make sure it's totally mixed. Then you're gonna pour. And I pour in the center. And when it gets to the end, I want to make sure that your table is level and all your petals are full. This is where I have extra for my bee. Where is my bee? I'm gonna quick give him a little making powder. And this one too. Hopefully I have time. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Little making powder, it's starting to set up. That's how much time you don't have. Look at that. That's not the first time that's happened to me. Bad, gone wrong. Just move on. We wasted some resin. This stick, you don't want to put it down anywhere because you're not going to get it back up. So I usually just hang on to it. Now, where it's going to cure, like you can see it's turning white, where it's going to cure is where it's the thickest, which doesn't make any sense to me. But it's curing in the middle first. Like, see how much that little one is already, it's totally cloudy over already. It's like curing. This one, it's also cured. It's happened to you, Patricia? Yeah, it happens. You know what? We just move on. So it's going to cure up. Got to give it a little bit of time. I can go ahead and making powder my pumpkin while we wait. I'm gonna lay this down. I think it's dry enough for me to lay down. Now let's making powder the pumpkin. So the pumpkin, I'm going to go in with Orange You Glad. And I just go over the entire pumpkin area, trying not to do the leaves. If some gets on there, it gets on there. These little hoop-de-doop things, the little stems, they're hard to not get the making powder in. So if that happens, it happens. You can fix it later with a dry brush or something. Now, up here on top is, I made a mistake the first time I did it, and I forgot to get that part of the pumpkin. Totally spaced it, didn't even realize it was part of the pumpkin. So don't forget this part up here, and then I forgot this one over here. So don't forget those two little pieces up there. So your mold is going to take about 10 minutes to cure up. That sunflower one, we don't want it to cure up that long. We want to catch it. So I'm keeping an eye on it to make sure that we can catch it before it cures all totally up. All right, I'm going to dump this one. And now I'm going to go in with the yellow. He's still not ready. And this is where I go in with the highlight on the pumpkin. I don't know where the highlight should be because it's backwards. My brain doesn't think like this backwards very well. So we're just going for it. Okay. We better check this guy. Okay, he should pop on out of here when he's ready. Last night I stretched it, so I'm a little hesitant. Okay, so he's popping on out of there. Like that one, it's not totally cured yet. Look at that. Now it is extremely hot. There's a little excess right here, so I'm going to pick it off. We'll get a knife in a little bit. And then I bend it. Woo! It's hot. I'm going to get a knife. If I leave it alone, it's just going to sink right back down again. I don't want that. So if your mold flows over, just take a knife, it's hot, and cut it back. Okay, that was the only spot. Now you're just going to keep, what other ways can you use that powder? Jody, the making powders. I've used them with, like when I have a something already painted with the clay-based paint, and it's not sealed, it's dry paint, you can take a brush and you can dip it in water, dip it in the making powders, and it'll blend really, really well into the clay-based paint. It is beautiful. I have a few YouTubes that show that. And then I know Debbie Beard has done a few YouTubes that have shown how she does that. So if you need a reference of how to use that, let me know. Because there's some really, like Debbie Beard has a really good one. Mine, I did a YouTube on it, so it shows you how to do that. So you would think I'd be all full of making powder. I'm not. It absorbed right into that resin. You just keep squishing this thing until it kind of cools where it's not going to go back into the flat position. One side is really more bendable than the other. Like this side, I think I could fold it over. And these sides are really stiff. It must have cured up on one side faster than the other. So there's a little bit of over the mold right here, a little bit of, in my plastics world, flash around this. I would love to check out any videos using it. Okay, Jody, I will send them. So you can also do that when it's completely cured. Like if I wanted to do that on these right now, I could still do it because it's pretty thin. Otherwise, like they've been curing for a while now, I can go back in. And since it's just a small little thin flash, you can just trim it right off. Or you can leave it on there because nobody's gonna know. So again, this is a little trinket dish. I actually have one over here that I made last year. I made this one last year. It's got my business cards in it, so you can have business cards in it. It's got a little metal bird. I don't know what this is, some kind of 3M something. It's got a duck in it. And so this one was made out of air dry clay. My tips are broken off because it was made out of air dry clay, which with air dry clay, you can just let it cool over something round and it's going, or not cool, let it dry over something round and it'll keep that shape. But with this resin, it's gonna go right back. So that's why you gotta keep molding it. So those are the two different ones. This is resin, this one's resin, and this one's clay. Both are fun. But yeah, you can use it as a little trinket dish. This sits over there because it did break. It collects a bunch of junk. But you could put this on in your vignette for fall, or you could put it on your dresser for your rings. And it's really pretty as is. But we're not done. We're not done with that. We're gonna mold up this pumpkin. And then, where's my brown brush? We're gonna mold up this pumpkin and then I'll show you how I finish them. So here's my brown again. I'm gonna go in with this stem. This is the one where you really got to make sure you get your edges, because that is deep. And then I put a little bit of brown on my leaves, because if a pumpkin is ripe, it's gonna have almost dead leaves, right? And then I'm gonna dump that off. And Plant Lady. I do like this one. Plant Lady is fun. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Bobby. Oh, I forgot. It's DIY night. DIY, aren't you, Bobby? We've been having so much fun playing with making powder. Amanda, thank you for joining. You are painting the mold first. Yes, Amanda, I am using the DIY making powder. And I am putting the making powder into the mold. And then we're going to use resin, not clay. We're going to use resin. And it's really fun. So the making powder was new a while ago. It's no longer new. Okay, I dumped that off. I want to make sure I got enough. If you've not used it before, you didn't forget DIY. I did, Bobby. Wilson's doing yard work and he's outside. It's finally nice, so he's got to get some yard work done. So he's not with us tonight. He's outside enjoying the hot weather. DIY. So Amanda, resin is really fun. It's not like the air dry clay. It dries within 10 minutes. It is stiff, so you can't, it's not pliable, it's not bendable. This is the one I did last night. So you'd have to glue it onto something that's flat. Like, what do I have? Like you can put it on a board like this. So you can glue it, oops, I gotta put it this way. You can glue it right on this board, and with some E6000 or some hot glue, and then maybe write a saying in here, paint this up. That's actually a really cute spot for this. I forgot I had that board sitting there. So what you have to do is you got A and B for the resin. Oh, I use resin all the time, just not the powder. Okay. Judy, DIY. DIY, girl. So we're gonna, and I know this one takes a little bit more. Obviously my sunflower, I had too much. This is the one that's gotta go a titch above the line. You want to make sure you get them right, because otherwise he'll end up with a mess. So I just go down, looking at the sides of them. Those rings are, I think this one needs a touch more. There. Okay, then you need a separate cup. We're all ready with that pumpkin right there. So now we're just going to mix the two resins together, pour them together at the same time until they both go drip, 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 drip. Put them on their representative side and mix. It's gonna turn cloudy. And you're gonna stir for about a minute, 2 minutes. I don't know what the box says. If I was more organized, I'd read the box, but I haven't read the box. I'm just going with what I know. I go until this cup gets hot to me. How much powder do you put down? I want to try this now. I just dust it with a paintbrush, Amanda. There's no water on it. I just dust it with the paintbrush and then I tap off the excess. So it's kind of like, flour in a cake pan. All right, then we're gonna pour it in. So some of this has a little bit of extra powder. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna migrate anywhere. So you wanna make sure that you get plenty in here. Sealing this whole thing up, especially those areas right there. I think my table is a little on the crooked side, so one side gets fuller than the other. See, I knew how much I needed for that one. This is the middle one, so that one's gonna go up there. I don't put this stick down, I hang on to it, otherwise I won't get it back up. Bobby says you're so tanned. I don't know how. Well, this weekend I was out in the sunshine. I was at my daughter's house. DIY at you, Bobby. Thank you. We've had so much rain and hardly any sun, but when the sun is out, let me tell you, I'm in the garden taking care of all the weeding that happens with rain. Like, there is a ton of weeds that grow with the rain. So where it starts to cure first is where it's the thickest. Does not make sense to me. Should be where it's the thinnest, right? No. It's where it's the thickest. This one I want to be flat because I'm going to glue it on something. So we can actually slide this one up and go back to our sunflower. Because I'm not done with the sunflower yet. We're not done with the making powders. Here's another thing you can do with the making powders. Let me seal up my resin so I don't spill it. Okay, that's good. I have one little spot on my counter that I want to wipe up so I don't get in it. You don't want that stuff on your skin. Not good. And then I'm going to move this napkin of powder so I don't get that all over. Okay, so we're still going to use the making powders. This is another way that you can use them. Now we're going to use Big Top. The DIY Big Top. I have mine in a special container so that I don't contaminate it, and look, it separates. If you're using Big Top without stirring it, you shouldn't be. So I'm gonna make sure I give it a nice stir. And then I still, because I'm using making powders, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna double dip. So I'm still going to pour it into another container. Stinky Big Top, yep, you'll get stinky Big Top if you do that. You don't want stinky Big Top. So that's why I put it in a separate container. Since I've started putting them in that separate container, I have not had a stinky big top since. Like, it took care of all of that problem. All right, I have my big top, and what I'm gonna do is just start to go around on this sunflower. Coating that up. You don't have to do this if you're not gonna do this part of it. Then I'm gonna go in with the orange making powder. So I just dipped in a little bit of the orange making powder. And look at how much brighter that orange is. If I wanna dull it down a little bit, I can use the brown that I made. That's a homemade brown. That would be a shadow down in there. Then I'm gonna wipe it off. Then I'm gonna go with some more big top. And then yellow. So the making powder will just stick to your wet brush. And it becomes, since I'm using it with the big top, it becomes a paint. And then I can just blend that all together. Look at that. So this side is not touched with the liquid, with the big top, and this side is. So we're gonna keep going, obviously. I need orange. Queen of DIY has done it again. Sheila said, great tip. Thank you, Sheila. And Carol says, hello. Hello, Carol. All right, there's the orange. Going back in with the brown that I made, giving it a nice dark shadow down there. Wipe that off. I'm gonna go in with, whoops, I forgot to dip in the big top. Go in with the yellow. Getting that all covered. And then I'm gonna blend them together. If you don't like the look, wait for it to dry and you can go right over the top of it. Judy's right, says Bobby. Oh, girls. This, you know what? I've seen other people use making powders. Whoops, orange. I've seen other people use making powders in the resin, and I thought it was a really cool idea, and I did it a number of times last year. I just don't think I showed it on a live. And then when I was playing around with it last night, I'm like, why don't I try and use the making powders after also? And I can show you what making powders do if you don't have the making powders on before. Like, they're not as bright. It's gonna take a little bit to cover it up. All right, there's the two colors. It kind of looks like candy corn right there, so you wanna blend that in. You don't want no candy corn. You don't want no stinking candy corn. I think what I'll do is let that dry and then come back in with yellow. I'm liking it. Could you glaze it? You could. You could probably even dark wax it, like to really get the crevices dark. and moody like. Okay, I really wiped my brush off because these little petals up here are very yellow. So I go around with the big top and then I dip into the yellow. You don't have to get them perfect because remember there's making powder all the way through it. So you don't have to get them perfect. That's another good thing about using the resin, the making powder with the resin. And then one last, the center here. So if you didn't hear, I made my own brown. I made my own brown making powder, and it probably could be a little browner. I'm gonna try and make it a little browner. So this is dark and decrepit dust and orange you glad making powder. I'm gonna add a little bit of green to it. Orange and green make brown, but I need a dry brush. That might be a little browner. Okay, let's try it. Yes, that's a little browner. You can see some of the green making powder when I put it into the big top, but then it blends to a more brown. Orange and green make brown. See, like right there is green. And now I can blend it with the orange. And it's brown. All right, there it is. So you could, like the glaze has got me thinking that a dark wax would be really, really pretty. So we're gonna try and dark wax one of these. But first, we have to show that pumpkin. I have to wrap up my big top brush so it doesn't dry out. I wrap it in a baby wipe. Move my making powders. Okay, here it is. You ready? There's the pumpkin. And it's completely clean. I wanted to do a pool party pumpkin. So you can paint this one the same way. Right here is resin and here is this one I painted with the big top and the making powders. So it just has a nice richer look to it than this one. This one's got some areas where the making powder might have missed. This one you can add some more dark into these crevices here. So it's got some more shading. We'll do it quick. I know I can be quick. So what I did is I just went over the pumpkin with the big top. And then a little bit of brown into those crevices. And then a little bit of orange. So see how much brighter that orange is? You want to make sure you keep those dark spots dark. So back in with brown. There's probably a little bit of shadow underneath these leaves. In with the orange. We won't do this whole thing. Well, it's gonna look kind of funny if we don't. Thank you, Sheila. And now I'm gonna use some Big Top, and then I'm gonna go in with the yellow just to give this a little highlight, right like that, and then wipe it back. Now it gave it a bit of highlight, a bit of yellow highlight, which gives it a little bit of shape. Okay. We'll be fast. Got that side all big topped. I need the brown up here. It's gonna, of course, be shadowed up there. Some orange. And then a bit of yellow. And wipe it back. You would do the same thing with the leaves. I won't do the leaves. Whoops, wrong brown. Little orange. And a touch of yellow. One side is going to be a little bit lighter than the other side. It's going to have the light hitting it more. So I'm going to yellow this side up just a touch more. And not take quite so much of it off. There we go. I can tell I need to take a little bit more off. There. Okay, that's how you can do the pumpkin. So the stem, I would paint brown. These leaves, I would do them in the brown and then highlight with some green. And then these little squiggle things, you can do them in Big Top, and then you can just go over them with your finger if you want with the making powder, so that you don't get down into the pumpkin. But that's the pumpkin with the making powder. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Gina and Jan. Sheila. Judy says very cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we were gonna dark wax one. I gotta grab my dark wax. Hang on. We'll do one from last night so I know that it's dry. This is one of my sunflowers from last night and one of my pumpkins from last night. So we'll do those. Here's some DIY dark wax. And remember, this already had some Big Top on it, so I don't have to seal it with anything. Look at all those beautiful sunflowers behind you. Thanks, Amanda. Hey, Bobby. Such a big heart. Thank you. DIY. We're getting ready for fall around here, Amanda. I don't want to be. I'm not ready for it, but the crafting world says I need to be. I seen someone was already decorating in their home for fall. Like, they wait for the 4th of July to be done, and then they get out their fall decorations and start putting those out. Ugh. They even had Halloween type of fall. Like, oh no. Mm-mm. I'm only crafting it. I'm not decorating with it. All right, look at that dark wax. That's sweet already. And then you're gonna wipe it off. Oh yeah, who said glaze it? I'm ready for fall all year round. Amanda! I'm gonna wash your mouth out with ivory soap, as my mother would say. All right, look at that sweet sunflower versus that. Oh boy. That is such a game changer. Yeah, I need to do that with all of them. Okay, we're gonna do, there we have a reference. So I made those two last night and I did this one tonight. You can make them in any color that you want. Have fun with them. All right, pumpkins. I only made one, no, I made 2 pumpkins last night. We'll do this one. This is the one I forgot to mold the back side of that spot right there. The dark wax is beautiful, Gina. It is so good to use. I love it. Sheila, you love it with the wax, and so does Judy. Yeah, me too. We're gonna see how this one turns out. I'm sure it's gonna be just as good. Even though I like those bright colors, I really like this muted down with the dark wax, because I'm kind of a mute those colors down a bit, baby. So you could even do this if you have just the making powder with the resin. You don't even have to paint them. A second time you can go ahead and do this. I love fall, but I live in, where's the SE? I don't even know where SE is. Can't think of anything. What's SE? Southeast? All right, look at that gorgeous pumpkin versus ours tonight. How beautiful is them? Southeast, that's what I thought. You live in the Southeast. Oh my God, those are beautiful. The wax changes it completely. It does. Each one is very unique. Yes, it is. They all come out different, and just with the making powders, like I said, I wanted to do pumpkin in blue. Do you want to hang around with me until 9 o'clock? I can do one in blue, maybe. Gonna hang around with me till 9? Let me know. Are you tired of me? Okay. Oh, I already sealed up my cups. No worries. I got 3 more. Okay, let's move these. DIY, says Bobby. Okay, this is side A. Side A goes on the left. Side B over here. That one in the middle. I need a clean brush for pool party making powder. So Amanda, if you haven't seen this, so I just go in with the making powder and coat the mold, making sure that I get all the sides and if you take too much with you, just keep pulling it along and using it versus wasting it. So pull it along in the mold and just keep coating it like your flour in a cake pan. Don't waste that making powder. It's precious stuff. There's this little spot right here. Don't let it fool you like it did me. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go in with that brush. I have a different brush and go in with the green on the leaves. I haven't ever tried to make a blue one before. So this is going to be interesting. I'm curious. I do like how some of that blue got into my green. It's not quite so green. So you can blend it just like you would. And then you're gonna pounce this off. Where is my... here's all my baking powder. You're just gonna shake that off. Some can stick in there if it wants. And then we have brown for the stem. And then maybe just a little bit on those leaves. Right like that. One more time. All right. There it is. Let's mix that resin. It is going to be cool. I hope. Okay, we need quite a bit of this. Like a shimmy over the line. A and B. You can weigh your resin if you want, but I like to eyeball it and then look at it from the side. Yep. It's gonna be cool, right, Sheila? Bobby, I don't know if I got your DIY. My ice is melted. Wilson is not in sight, so that better last for the end of this. Hello there from Virginia. I'm so happy we're finally getting rain. Oh, excellent. We've had our share. Okay, I threw my stick somewhere. Right here. Here's my stick. It's got some baking powder on it. We don't want that. Orange making powder. We don't want orange. Okay. In they go. Till they both drip. Don't clean the bottles out. Just go until they drip. Now I'm going to stick the other side in just in case. And then stir for 1 to 2 minutes. And this plastic cup should be getting hot. You can just order these plastic cups off of Amazon. I got a few of them. A few packages of them. I'm not sure where they came from, but I can put that link in my post as well. All right, when it gets hot, pour it on in. Making sure to get those bumps that I seem to forget. I use the stick to help it, but you don't want to overflow it. If you do, you can always clean it up. Okay, one more time, putting the cups away. Hey Sandra, why not scrape them out? Sheila, because you take the time to scrape them out, your resin is gonna set up. You're gonna have less time, and if you just pour them out naturally, they both come out naturally equal. So if you scrape them out, you might scrape one out more than the other one. So just let them fall out of their natural. And then you'll make sure you have the same amount on side A and side B. All right, it shouldn't be too long. We have got to see what this looks like. I'll pick you up and show you a pumpkin I did last year, just in case you want to see something else, what I did with the pumpkins last year. So how many of you have this Hello Pumpkin mold? How many of you were lucky enough last year to get it? Because I ran out really quick. And they didn't make it anymore. But it is, Corinne says I do, Sheila says me. Lucky girls, lucky, lucky, lucky girls. The IOD release comes out the end of this week, the new one. And it's gonna be good, guys. You are going to be so happy with it. I'm gonna do one with that blue too. Excellent, Bobby, you must have the pumpkin mold. I have it, says Patricia. So here's what I did with it last year. One of your favorites, says Amanda. Yes, I do like this pumpkin mold. So, and it's beautiful. Right? And then the other small little pumpkin is just as pretty. I just don't use it as often. You're excited about the IOD release? Me too. I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to see it. So this has the rose chintz. After I went ahead and painted this up, and then I used the liquid patina and I put the rose chintz paint inlay on there. And then I used the dark wax and gave that a dark wax. So you'll borrow Bobby's. Excellent. Sheila says, I can't wait for the release on Friday. Corinne says, love that pumpkin. That is a stunning pumpkin. Love it. Thank you, Amanda. It is. And I had it on a board last year. I have the board here. I ripped it off because it didn't sell last year. So I had it on this breadboard right here that said, Hello Pumpkin. But I ripped it off because I think it kind of drowns out. So I'm going to repaint this breadboard and put this pumpkin back on here. But this is just a breadboard, a fall breadboard. I do like this painting, but it just takes away from that pumpkin. So that board's getting painted. And it's gonna get a facelift. But this is absolutely stunning, so that's not going anywhere. That one's staying as is. So let's put this one onto this board. This is just a Hobby Lobby wood frame that I bought at the secondhand store for 97 cents. And you can paint this, stamp Hello Fall up there with the Apothecary Labels stamp, which I just got in today. I'll get them loaded back up on my website tonight. They just got, they just restocked and I just got mine today. I'm gonna get them out on my website because everybody is just chomping at the bit waiting for that stamp to come back. So you can just glue them right onto a board. All right, the blue one is ready. Gina loves the rose one, me too. Is that resin? The rose one? Yes, it is. That is resin. I was having fun with the resin and the Hello Pumpkin mold last year already. When I seen the Hello Pumpkin mold, like that big size right there, I immediately thought resin. I gotta use resin. Wasn't it hard to pull the inlay, put the inlay on the pumpkin? No, let me show you. Just in case with the new release, you can do something like it. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right here in front of me. So all I did was I finished the pumpkin off, and it is resin, so it's not clay. I finished the pumpkin off and put some, I believe I was using making powder at the time too. So I put the Plant Lady and the, this one is the Bright Side. So it's Plant Lady and Bright Side right here. Otherwise it was white. So I painted it, just painted it white. And then I painted this stem in a, I think it was like faded burlap. Okay. So I got all that painted up, and then I took the liquid patina and I would just put liquid patina right here, and I'd have a teeny tiny little piece of the inlay, and I would just lay it on there. And then I'd let that one dry. So if it overlapped onto something else, it'd be okay. So if it overlapped over here, it'd be fine. And then after that one, I could take it off. I might do both sides at the same time. And then I worked my way to the next two sections, and then I did this section. So I did them in sections at a time. See them? So it looks more difficult than it is. It's just pieces of a paint inlay. Like this one right here does not, it's not even a full rose. But you don't know that just by glancing at it. It's just a piece of the inlay. This one, that whole section right there came right off. But I don't care. So that was fun. Okay, you ready? You probably all are ready. Okay. Haha, look at that. Is that not cool? Look at that pumpkin. So now, what I think this pumpkin needs, we have a couple minutes left. What I think this pumpkin needs, one moment. Some white wax. Oh, it's still warm, so it's melting my white wax. You might want to wait till it cools down. It's melting it. It's okay, we're going with it. Okay, who else is trying one of these blue ones? You could dry brush white paint on him. I'll put him back on the board. Look at that. After you use liquid patina, do you get another use out of the inlay? No. Well, you can try. It's just going to really be a lot more distressed and vintagey the second time around. So you can try, but don't do it on, try it on something, just try a little piece on something else. So yeah, look at this blue one. Amanda says, beautiful. Sheila says, I will for sure. Excellent. I can't wait to see everybody's pumpkins. And Patricia says, do you paint every day? Just about. Just about. There's not very many days I don't pick up a paintbrush. And if I don't pick up a paintbrush, I'm really kind of crabby. And I work 9.5 hours a day at my regular job. So sometimes it's kind of hard to get out here and paint, but I make sure I do it. Corinne says, yes, it's good with the wax. Sheila says, fabulous. And Jan says, I love that color. I know, right? So that is just using the making powder all by itself and not going over it after we unmolded it. So this is just using the making powder inside the resin, which is really good. Okay, it is Whiskey Wednesday. I need to go see what Wilson's up to. Sheila says you need to ditch that job. Yes. Patricia says, I'm impressed. Thank you all so much. It was so fun. We have 2 different looks here. The orange, and wouldn't that be cool if you made a stack of them? It'd be cool if you made a stack of pumpkins and then stuck a sunflower in there. Look at that. Look at that color combo. Sweet. Okay, thank you all for watching. If you need any resin, I am going to put my Amazon link in the comments. So if you'll do me a favor, go hit up Amazon and use my link. It's no cost to you, but it gives me a few pennies back. And right now I'm trying to get an affiliate link for Amazon, so I need a little help. If I'm gonna ditch that day job, I need a little Amazon help. So I'll set you up with a resin link, and then I'll also set you up with those plastic cups. And anything else that you order off of Amazon, if you use that link, that still helps me. Doesn't matter, and no cost to you. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope that you try this making powder. If you don't have making powder in your stash, I have lots of it in my inventory over there. Just head on over to thepaintedphotographer.com and I'll ship it right to your front door. Thanks for watching, and as always, until next time, happy painting.